Question number 1 is tell me about yourself. Now, this is probably the most awkward question anyone wants to answer because it feels like the spotlight's on you and you have to say some brilliant answer, which is in most cases true. Usually with this question, we make the mistake of talking about things that are already on our resume, which you want to avoid at all costs. Don't say, I graduated from this school and I don't know, 4.0 GPA. Talk about your strengths. Talk about how you are responsible, you are determined, you are a fast learner. Talk about those types of qualities because that's pretty much what they're looking for. Question number 2, why do you want to work here? With this question, you have to do some research, okay? Look at their website, check it out, see if they talk about their mission statement, which usually it's like in the front. Try to see what kind of goals they have for the hospital or what kind of care do they want the nurses to provide for the patients. Are they looking for excellence in care? Are they looking for a spiritual or a holistic approach to care? That's something that you want to talk about and bring up in the interview, saying, you know what, I support a holistic approach. I think that spirituality or prayer has a big impact on health, and that's something that you can talk about, and it shows, hey, you actually researched our facility and you're really interested in joining our team. So you can't BS your way through that one. Okay, watching you. Question number 3, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Basically what they want to know is, are you goal oriented? And for myself, I answered this question with just 2 things. I said, number 1, I want to be a nurse educator. I can totally see myself doing that in about 5 years. And number 2, I want to continue doing medical mission trips and hopefully start my own nonprofit organization. But, I'd like to keep it short with those 2 things and, look at their reaction like.
So you do have goals. That's nice. Next.
Question number 4, if we hire you, what will you bring to our facility? This is the time where you really have to sell yourself. Talk about your previous work history, whether it's being a CNA, LVN, EMT, RN, if you're switching jobs. Talk about a few highlights that you have had at your job and how it would be applicable to this one. But if you don't have any experience, it's okay. Talk about how you are a problem solver, how you're going to bring a positive attitude to this hospital, because trust me, it's a breath of fresh air having someone that's positive, that's new, that's ambitious, because I think a lot of new grads are very ambitious, and that's so awesome, and we need that. Trust me, we need that breath of fresh air. So really, you have a lot to say. Question number 5, how do you handle stress? You know what? I actually handle stress in a couple of ways. I love to pray. With my family, they're so supportive in everything that I do, which goes into number 2, family. And number 3, I love to exercise, whether it's boxing or just something that will get my heart rate up. I need to do it, especially boxing. It's just like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Thumbs up if you know what I'm saying. What do you know about the patient population at our hospital? This is the hardest question to answer because if you didn't have your clinical rotation there, then how are you gonna know, right? Or if you volunteered there too. What are you gonna do? Sneak in? Maybe. Let's do it. There is a way around this, guys. We don't need to sneak into hospitals. What you can do is check out their website and look at any technology or advancements that they have had in specific procedures, because if a hospital is going to spend that much money and that much research for these type of advancements, is because the population needs it. Why are you leaving your current job? This all depends on you. What is your goal? What is your dream? Maybe it's, I've been on the med-surg floor for quite some time now and I have always dreamt of being in the OR. That's where I want to be. Or maybe you're just, bored. Some people get bored, I'm not kidding. And they're like, I just want a new challenge. I just want something new, a new environment, a new atmosphere. So that all works. Number 8, have you handled failure? Look at my previous video. Yes, I did. That is something that I talk about in almost every interview, is my NCLEX, because it was just a highlight for me of my failure, but it wasn't a failure. it was a negative situation and I turned it around into a positive one. And that's what you could talk about is, you know what, I failed my NCLEX the first time, but that didn't stop me from being a nurse. And I studied hard, I prayed, and I got through it and I passed. And that's a big accomplishment for yourself, to say that I overcame that. I didn't let failure defeat me. Question number 9, what did you like and dislike about your previous job? If you say, I didn't dislike anything and everything was positive and rainbows and butterflies, you're lying, okay? What I usually say is I dislike it when people bring their negative drama or whatever it is to work, because it has nothing to do with the patients, it has nothing to do with the coworkers, and ultimately you bring down your team. You really do, because when you bring that negative energy, it's like people feed off of it. What I do is I leave everything at the door before I come into the hospital, and it's something that my dance teacher, her name is Wendy, she told me is leave everything at the door. Your relationship problems, your financial problems, leave it at the door and come into my studio and dance. And that's what I practice in nursing school, and that's what I practice at my work. Everything is left at the car in the parking lot. I shut the door, bam, I'm in the zone. And I literally say this to myself, A, B, C, airway, breathing, circulation. I literally like walk into the hospital and I say a few things to myself before I go in with my thinking cap on. Now, things that you like about your job, oh my God, you could have a whole list. I loved the coffee machine. No, don't say that. Talk about how you liked your boss, your manager, your coworkers. Talk about how you guys work together as a team, because when you work in other places, you're gonna rely on everybody else. You're gonna rely on each other. So teamwork is a big plus that you could talk about. And I don't know, coffee? Question number 10. This is actually the most important one, because every interview ends off with this question. I think you guys are guessing what it is. It is, do you have any questions for me? Your first question should be, what is my schedule going to be like if I get hired? Is it going to be 3 12-hour shifts? Is it going to be 8-hour shifts? That's one thing that you can ask. The second thing that you should ask is, how long is your orientation going to be? Oh my God, that's so important. If it's only a week of orientation versus 4 weeks of orientation. I know some new grad programs, they do, I think 3 months. But if you're switching from job to job, then usually it's like 2 weeks of quick orientation, okay? And then you could ask, what are you guys going to offer me for my pay rate? Or what do you typically offer for new grads?